Money, it affects our everyday life. But how do we make more of it? Manage it. And make sure we make the most of our money. Welcome to Money Mindful, a podcast to teach and support you as you learn to manage your money.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Meaghan J Smith. I'm a money mindset and life coach for women. I help women create the extraordinary lives they want to live on purpose by helping them manage their minds and giving them the tools that they need to create that. Okay, I've got something really cool to talk to you about today, and something that you can apply this instant, like right from when you finish listening to this podcast, even while you are listening to this podcast. But first, I just want to let you know that book club is tonight, people. We are meeting on the Money Mindful Facebook page. That's at 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we'll be discussing the book The Compound Effect, Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, Your Success by Darren Hardy. We've been reading it all month. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. You might not be aware that I run a book club. It's online. It's completely free. Everybody is welcome. If you have not read the book and you are hearing about this for the first time and you would like to join in, all you have to do is go to the Money Mindful website at 8:30 p.m. and I pop up live. You might have to scroll down the page a little bit. To find out the details, you can always go to the website, moneymindful.com.au. I have a link in my bio on Instagram to the book club. And I also, if you're listening, if you're following me on Facebook, that's where it is, on the Money Mindful Facebook page. All right, let's get into it. I want to talk to you about this concept: what you appreciate appreciates. Try saying that 10 times in a row. Okay, what do I mean by this? It's that cliche thing. I don't know if it's cliche. That might not be the right word, but it's that classic example that, when you go to buy a new car and suddenly every single person on the road seems to be driving that new car that you're going to buy. Right? Or that when you get pregnant and you're going to have a baby, suddenly everyone is pregnant and having a baby. Now, it doesn't just work like that. Suddenly there's all these extra people having babies. There were always people having babies. You just weren't attuned to it. Your brain just wasn't switched on to it. So Darren Hardy, in the book, The Compound Effect, and I'm going to discuss this in more detail tonight at book club. He has a section on goal setting, which I really love that he painted it in this picture, and it relates to what I'm talking about today. He says how goal setting actually works, right? The mystery, secret revealed. So dramatic. You only see, experience, and get what you look for, right? These are his exact words from the book. I'm just reading a couple of things. So when you instruct your brain to look for things you want, you will begin to see them. Now, this is something that for some people it can sound a bit magical when you say it like that, but there's nothing magical about it, right? This is science. Basically, our brain is bombarded with so much sensory information all day long. And if we took everything in that we actually saw and processed it consciously, we'd go bonkers, right? There's too much. So what our brain does is it filters out for what we tell it to look for, like what's important to us or what we put our attention on. And in this case, what Darren Hardy's talking about in the book is the reason why you set goals is to tell your brain, like actually direct your brain intentionally on purpose to look for what you're going for, right? Because when you set a goal and you are thinking about that goal all the time and you start working towards that goal, opportunities open up to you. Now, those opportunities were always there. You just weren't looking for them. I don't know if you remember a couple of months back, I told a story. I can't remember now if I told it on the podcast or if it was just in a Facebook Live or something like that. But I mentioned that we discovered that we had a funnel web spider outside our back door, and I was mortified because funnel web spiders can actually do a bit of damage. They're not like a daddy long legs or something, like who cares about them? They, they're very poisonous. And I have little children and a dog. So when I saw this funnel web spider, I was like, right, sorry, buddy, you are going down. And we killed it. But because it was right outside our back door, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do a little look around the house to check if we have any other spiders. And oh my gosh, I am not kidding. I found so many spiders. Like in our shed, there was a funnel web spider in every corner of the shed. And there were funnel web spiders around above where our laundry is. Like just, yuck. Those funnel web spiders had been there the whole time. I just hadn't noticed them. It's not like they all spun their webs that night and were suddenly there. They probably had been there for months, but I just wasn't looking for funnel web spiders. I had no attention on spiders. When I went outside, I was either, playing with my kids on the trampoline or hanging washing on the line. I had no conscious thoughts about spiders or looking for spiders. So I wasn't attracting, I'm using little quotation marks in the air, spiders to me because I wasn't looking for them, but the spiders were there the whole time. Are you following me? Do you get what I'm saying? So what we appreciate, as in have an appreciation for, or I also like to think of it as what we put our attention on, that's what we create. Now, not because it was never there before or we magically manifested it with our mind from meditating or whatever. I mean, we do manifest it with our mind in the sense that we tune our mind into seeing it like you would tune a frequency of a radio station. So how can you use this information in your life? How can you actually apply it for good, right? For the forces of good. The way that I like to do this and what I do in my life is a few things. I'm going to share them with you. One is if you are experiencing lack or scarcity or the dreaded not good enough, the quickest way to shift out of that is to have a gratitude practice. And why does this work? It's because what we appreciate appreciates. So if your attention is always on what you're lacking and what you don't have, that is what you are instructing your brain to look for. So that is what you will see more of, right? I'm not kidding. I mean, do you have those days where, your children are mucking around and they're kind of giving you the irrits, and then suddenly it's like everything they do is kind of naughty. Like you notice everything that they're doing that's not this perfect behavior. Or is it just me? But I find I get into this zone where it's like if I'm getting irritable and I'm noticing that one of my daughters is kind of being nasty to the other daughter, like suddenly it just seems like she's doing it all the time. Whereas when I have my attention on how great my kids are and how much I love them, and that's what I see, like it's that instant, you really can shift your perspective in an instant with anything. But if you are particularly experiencing in your life things like I don't have enough money, or I'm not good enough, or I need something, like feeling graspy because you don't have something, the quickest way to shift out of it is with a gratitude practice. Now, that can look in different ways, but how I do it and what works for me is I have a journal that I write down things in the evening. I don't do it every day, but sort of every now and again, I just pick up that journal and I write down all the things that I am grateful for and that I love having in my life. So it might be like, I'm so grateful for my dog. I just absolutely love and adore her. She makes my life 100 times better having her around. She sits with me when I'm doing podcasts. She's in with me in the office when I'm coaching my clients. I just feel so grateful that I have my dog. And I feel grateful that I have running water in my house. Right? So awesome that I can just, if you've ever lived in a third world country, which I have, having clean running water in your house is awesome. Okay. Having electricity that you can just switch on and off, amazing. Love it. I love heaters. I love air conditioning. Oh my gosh. I am so grateful for whoever invented air conditioning. It's the best. On a 40-degree day in summer here in Australia, I am so grateful that I have air conditioning. Are you getting the idea? When I put my attention on what I am grateful for, I feel so good. And you know what else? I just see all the things that I have. I just see so much prosperity around my life when I direct my attention on purpose to gratitude. And here's the funny thing. Nothing changes. It's in the physical world in the sense that it's not like I'm suddenly living in a different house or have different children or a different dog. But when I put my attention on what I love about these things, that is the energy that I walk through my day in. It's an energy of having. It's an energy of sufficiency. It's an energy of having what I want and having my needs met. And both are available to all of us at any time. You can walk around all day long with your attention on what you don't have. And when you do that, I guarantee you will see more of what you don't have. You know, I mean, I talked to you recently on the podcast about overspending. This is another reason we overspend, because we think that we need things, because we feel like we lack. When we are in that energy of I don't have, that's the radio frequency you're tuning your brain into. And then suddenly it's like you see all the things that you don't have. And there's all these things that you need to get. And it's kind of uncanny. It blows my mind how it works. Like when you're in debt and you're just so focused on the fact that you have debt, so often you create more debt because that's what you're attracting, because you have your attention on it. What you appreciate appreciates. So with this knowledge in mind, what can you do right now that you can create more of, right? Do you want to create more of not enough and being in lack and not reaching your goals? Or do you want to create more of feeling gratitude and feeling an inner well-being and peace because you have what you want in your life and you have so much around you and so much to be grateful for? And when you are in that space too, you attract people who are also in that space, or you shift people who aren't in that space into that space. Because when you are high vibing, other people, it influences other people. It's the same when you're like low vibing and feel like crap. It's infectious, right, to the people around you. I really want to encourage you to take this knowledge, what I've just taught you today, what appreciate appreciates, and use it. Try, and if you're a bit skeptical, if you're not sure about this, have a go at this. Spend a whole day, or if a whole day feels too much, spend 1 hour of your day deliberately putting your attention on what you have, what you can be grateful for, what you want that you already have. So for example, I really want an awesome partner who cooks and is intelligent and that I can have a stimulating conversation with, but also has their own life and doesn't need me. I can just do my own thing and they can do their own thing, and I have that. I have that in a partner. Right? Like, isn't that the coolest thing, to think about what you want that you already have? Like, I want 2 healthy girls who are fiery as anything and willful and are passionate about their lives, and I have that. That is the coolest activity that you can do for yourself for 1 hour, is be in gratitude for what you already have and notice how your energy shifts. Like, notice how powerful this one little exercise is that is so simple. It is so simple to do. And listen, I see you. I know you're listening thinking, yeah, and you understand this intellectually. Of course you do, because you're smart. But do this activity. Don't just think it and consume it from what I'm saying on the podcast. Go and do it today. Spend a few moments writing down on paper what you're grateful for, or as you go about your day and you notice things that you're doing. I'm grateful for the running water I have. I'm grateful for these runners that I can put on my feet and go for a run, and that it supports my feet when I'm running. Whatever it is for you, right? And then see what happens. Watch what happens. I promise you it will have a positive effect on your life. What you appreciate appreciates. And you can be down in the weeds and looking at all the stuff that is not working, or you can be putting your attention on all the things that you have and the things that you are grateful for and that you love that are already in your life. All right, I think I've covered all the points. So, are you coming to book club tonight? I hope to see you there. It is at 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tonight on the Money Mindful Facebook page. I go live at 8:30. All you need to do is show up. I ask lots of questions. We get into discussion about the book. It is a really fun evening. It is so much better than sitting around just eating ice cream. It is with other women, like-minded women who are also wanting to improve their lives, increase their awareness around money and mindset. Be there or be square. Love you guys. Until you hear from me next week, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For more info, visit moneymindful.com.au. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. And remember, the information in this podcast is of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal circumstances or goals. Please seek professional advice for your own financial needs. Remember to have fun along the way.